back to Georgia's Lifestyle. Today I am so happy to be with you again on another live. I know it's really been so long, but today I just want to come and chit chat with you, answer some of your questions. Also, I'm going to be talking about tips for moving to the UAE in 2022. Yes, that's August 2022. I know it's now 1st of April. Yes, and guess what? I know some of you don't believe this, but today's the 1st of April and schools are still admitting persons even right now. Persons are still being employed to come and teach in the UAE even right now. Yes, but so if you're planning on moving to the UAE in 2022, whether now or in August, I'm going to be sharing some tips with you. Hi Vanessa. How are you, Vanessa? I hope you guys are hearing me loud and clear. Um, if you are hearing me, let me know if you're hearing me. And also remember, when you join, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Yes, and let me know you are here. Hi, Volcano. How are you doing? It's been a long while. I haven't been on a live in a long time. Hi, Rondine. Um, hi, Natasha. It's low. Um, see if my volume is up. Is it still low? Is it still too low? Let me know if you're hearing me clearly. Natasha is saying it's low. I scheduled a live not long ago, guys, and I can't believe I haven't been so long on a live stream. I feel like I couldn't. I was scheduled the live and didn't remember how to start the live because I haven't been on a live in such a long while. Too busy, but it's spring break, and I know I'm taking a lot of time to answer some of the questions these days because I mean the past term was so hectic and I made up my mind at the beginning of the year to not open back my laptop whenever I leave work because guys it's been really hectic and sometimes being around the computer for so long. um I kid you not, in the UAE, there are schools are still offering hybrid teaching because students still have the option to learn from home if they want to. So as teachers, we have kids face to face and we have kids online. So being at work, I have the kids in front of me and I also have kids online. So I'm always in front of the screen. So kind of told myself I'm going to give myself a break, from the screen. And yeah, so it's been a while. I haven't been on a live, but I just decided to come and chat with you. Yeah, so but I'm good. Volcano. Um, yeah, so I know some persons. So let me just go right into some of the questions that I'm getting still. Some persons are still asking if employment is still going on in the UAE. Yes, employment in the UAE never stops. Um, the school I'm working at now, I started there 2020 May. Yes, and most schools close at the end of June, and yet a school employed me in the month of May. Persons always leave for whatever reason, or their contracts finish in the middle of the year and they don't decide to stay. So recruitment is always ongoing. But if you are thinking of coming like in August, the school year in August, then yes, now is the time to be applying. Yes, to send out those CVs. Recruitment is still going on, so you should still be sending them out, even if you have sent to some places already from a long time and you haven't heard from them. Yes, still send out those CVs. Try if I can see the chat box while I'm chatting. All right, yes. Yes, so still send out those CVs. Yes, especially to websites like EdVectus and EdArabia and World Teachers, Seek Teachers, Indeed.com. Yes, make sure you have registered on those websites, because they're still, every day I still see vacancies coming out on those websites. So check them out and send out those CV. So today is just like, chatting, and you can drop questions. I'm trying to read the chat in the meantime. You can drop any questions that you might have in the chat box for me. So Vanessa, we're still waiting to see you. Vanessa, I know Vanessa is on her way to the UAE shortly. Right, Vanessa, still looking forward to seeing you. Natasha, I think Natasha, I heard from you since this week. Natasha, I think I spoke with you, Natasha, this week. Name sounds familiar, like I spoke with you. Either you commented on a video or you sent me an email. Don't remember. And Rondine, I know you're actively applying. Yes. So if you have any questions, you can just drop them in the chat box. All right. And I'll answer them as best as possible. All right. So in the meantime, let me answer, give some tips if you're planning to come to the UAE in 2022. Now, over the years, thousands of teachers make the bold step to come to the UAE, and yes, indeed, it is a bold step. The UAE is many, many, many miles away. It's a bold step, deciding to leave your home country and to come there, but it's doable. And I have done it. October coming up is my 5th year, and yes, challenges are there. And I mean, no work program is a walkover, and teaching is teaching wherever you go. So making that bold step to move to the UAE, it's really a bold step, but it's doable. And so if you're planning to move to the UAE in 2022, what I always advise persons to do is to do your research while you listen to the YouTube videos and so on. It is very important to do your own research. Yes, get first hand information. Yes, it's good to hear from somebody else who is living there, but also do your own research for your own knowledge, and understanding. So study, learn about the culture where you're going. Yes. Hi Adrian, I know you were on the other live, but I couldn't figure out how to go live from the other device I was on. Yes, but yes, do your research, and also research the area. I know some schools, after they give you an offer, yes, they tell you the name of the school, but in the meantime, research the culture. Yes, it is far different. I know many of us are from a Christian background, and the UAE is a Muslim country. They are very tolerant, though. Persons ask the question, is it okay? How do Christians survive in a Muslim country? They are very tolerant. Um, they don't force their religion on you, and you do likewise. You don't force, you don't discuss religion at all. Yes, so it's okay for Christians to be living there. We still get to go to church and all of that. So once you think about coming to the UAE, research the culture, and you're going to fit right in. It's a learning process. You cannot be too prepared. Every day is a new experience. You cannot be too prepared, but it's achievable. All right, so I'm just checking the chat box in the meantime, but as I said, you can drop any questions that you have. You can drop them in the chat box in the meantime, and remember to like the video. Once you join, give the video a thumbs up. Yes, so just be prepared. All right, I know persons are asking about salary. What's the salary like? in the UAE. What I'll say that the salary is good. It is why many of us leave our different home countries to come to the UAE. It's because of the salary and the benefits. But I know some of you asked to give an idea of how much salary you will receive. Um, Salary is not fixed. Salary, it's dependent on the school, what a school decides to offer for their salary package. However, the benefits are pretty much the same right across the board. In so much that you are given you given flight, your arrival into the UAE, all the processing, all your visa, everything like that, the school provides it for you. After working for 1 year, you get a return airfare every year after that also, and you get your either housing allowance, or you live in the school's accommodation. So all of that is standard, but when it comes to the other parts of the salary, it is not the same for everybody. Schools just decide how much they will pay, and it has to do with years of experience also, and your qualification. Yes, but yeah, so salary package, but take for example, I think I have all Jamaicans online now. Yes, but minimum, the least schools pay out, for example, people from the Caribbean and so on, the least they pay out is 10,000 dirhams. So you can do the conversion in your currency, but the least they will pay out for somebody who's from the Caribbean is 10,000 dirhams. And yeah, that comes with like I said, all the benefits. You're not paying any utility, it is tax free. And often say to persons that it's not that the salary in the UAE supersedes or is much better than, for example, the UK program or the US program, but the ultimate benefit of the UAE salary is that it's tax free and you're not paying any utilities. So whatever you see on your offer, you get that, and then you decide how you want to spend it. So it's like you have all that money, and for a Jamaican, if you're getting 10,000 dirhams, of course schools pay out more than that. They go up to 16,000, 16,500 dirhams. Yes, schools are paying that also, and you just need to have 2 years teaching experience, and yeah, have a bachelor's degree. And if you're getting between 10,000 dirhams and 16,000 dirhams, and you're not paying any utility, you're not paying any rent, you're just taking care of your food, and the only thing you need to pay from your pocket is for your Wi-Fi. It's just a few schools who ask teachers to pay the utility, and utilities like maximum 500 dirhams for the month. All right, so yes, if you're considering coming to the UAE, that's a tip I want to point out to you. So if you're coming by yourself, or you're coming with family, you have to look at the offer that you are given, do the math, and see if it can take care of your family, in terms of if you're coming with your kids, what kind of package the school offers for your child. Some schools give airfare, family airfares, if you're here, if you're there with your spouse, married spouse that is, and your kids. There are some schools that pay your full airfare for all family members, but you don't get school fees. Then there are some schools that don't pay, only pay the airfare for the employed staff, but your kids get free tuition. Then there are some schools where teachers just pay a portion of the tuition, or your child can attend the school that you are working at, and then you just pay a portion of it. So the packages are different. You just have to make sure you read your contract. I always say, read the contract, read the offer letter, make sure you know what you are getting into before you arrive. All right, so let me take a few questions. So Natasha is saying, I heard you have to get a teaching license now to teach in the US, in the UAE. What is the process? The teaching license, Natasha, it's still a few schools who ask for it. Not every school asks for a teaching license. It's just like So some schools will say we want this and we want that, because the truth is, in Jamaica we don't have a teaching license, not a requirement. I didn't get one to come. I know persons who came from Jamaica as recent as January, yes, and they weren't asked for a teaching license. It's just some schools that are asking for it. And schools like, um, for example, some countries like America and so on, they do have teaching license, but it's not everybody. But sometimes you just find a school that is asking, really asking for the teaching license, but it's not fully yet a requirement. But yes, they're changing up a lot of things. Yes, the UAE changing up a lot of things, and at times it seems like it's a bit harder in joining, but I mean, just keep your fingers crossed and keep on applying. So thank you to those of you. I can see 7 people online. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up when you join, and let me know that you are here. And you can just drop any questions that you might have in the comment section. All right, but yes, keep sending out those applications, because like I said, the recruitment, it's ongoing. It never stops. It's ongoing. So there's even right up until end of July or in August, you could still get response, because truth is, some persons, they are going to be leaving for summer, not coming back, and they're not going to tell the school that they're not coming back. They just hop and leave. So even those schools are trying to get their staff complement for August. They still don't know how many teachers they will need as yet, because persons, of course, they just go home for summer and don't come back. All right. Yeah. So, all right. So another tip, if you're planning to come to the UAE, is to have all your documents together, everything that is educational, get them ready. Um, get them attested. I know for Jamaicans, we don't have a UAE embassy in Jamaica, and some schools, yeah, they specifically ask that you get UAE attestation before you arrive in the UAE. I know some persons have had to send their documents to Cuba, because Cuba has the closest UAE embassy to Jamaica. So some persons have gone that route. However, some schools, because like I said, I know a few Jamaicans who came in 2021 October, November, in January, and their school didn't ask them to get UAE attestation, because once you tell them, some of them, they really do understand that when you tell them that there is no UAE embassy in Jamaica, so you have to wait until you get to the UAE. When you get to the UAE, it's just a 1-2 process to get the UAE attestation, but make sure to get the UAE the your documents attested in Jamaica first. And again, that is your bachelor's degree. No need to attest your diploma, because it's the bachelor's degree that they want. So attest your bachelor's degree at Ministry of Education and at Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So that's your bachelor's degree, your transcript, yes, from the university or college that you studied, and your work experience letter, right? Your work experience letter. So those 3 things, and make sure to have 2 references also. If you're going to take your kids with you, have their birth certificate and so on attested also. If you're going to take your child with you and the father is not coming with you, then you need to get a letter signed by a JP. Attest that letter also that you are given permission. Yes, even though you're the mother of the child, if the father is not joining you, you have to get a signed letter from the father giving permission for you to take his child out of the country, and that letter must also be attested, and that's along with the child's birth certificate and last school report. All right, so let me just go to the chat. All right. Oh, Oh, Dope and Crafty. I'm moving there in August. Congratulations, Dope and Crafty. Congratulations. I don't remember seeing your name before. I hope you are a subscriber, Dope and Crafty. But congratulations. Yes, are you gonna be coming to Abu Dhabi or to Dubai? Vanessa is saying I was asked for a copy of my COVID vaccine card as well. Yes, because unless you, oh, you're coming to Abu Dhabi, so I hope to meet you when you get to Abu Dhabi. Yes, because I'm in Abu Dhabi now, so I hope to meet you when you get to Abu Dhabi. So happy that you were given an offer and that you are coming. um and if you are Jamaican, Dope and Crafty, not sure if you're Jamaican, we have our Jamaican community, our Jamaican WhatsApp group where we support each other. Yes, we're like a little community. Yeah, we try to support and help each other, especially when we know that a new person is coming. Husband got a teaching job and I will look for one once. Okay, great. All right. And Vanessa says, yes, so yes, Vanessa, as long as you don't have any underlying illness that would prevent you. Oh, you're American. Okay, yeah, I have American friends there too, and they have their little group too. All right, great. Yes, unless you have underlying illness, you have to be vaccinated and have the booster shot also, so 3 doses of the vaccine in order to teach in the UAE. Yes, that's a must. um the restrictions are easing a bit. I think probably about 3 weeks, since 3 weeks ago, we're able to go outside without a mask, but we still have to wear a mask indoors. And and another thing, Vanessa, you can't go anywhere without showing. There's an app that we have there called Alosan app. It shows every 14 days. It has to be green. Once it's green, then you're allowed to go into the malls, into the restaurants, and so on. Yes, we can't go anywhere in the UAE without showing our Alosan app that we are COVID free. Yes, so every 14 days, as teachers, every 14 days we have to do a PCR test in order to go to work, and we have to be vaccinated. Only persons who have proof of underlying illnesses don't have to take the vaccine. Alrighty. Yes, right. So make sure when you are coming that you have all documents are tested and ready. Don't leave anything that you think you might really need educational wise, because or else you're gonna have to send back home for it. And courier service, guys, getting anything couriered to the UAE is so expensive. Yes, so get all of those ready. Have colored copies, colored photocopy of all your documents. um yeah, photocopied colored copies of all your documents. And make sure to all the things that you like that you probably will not find in the UAE, make sure you take those little things with you. Do you have to pay for the test there? No, no need. The government pays for the test every 14 days. They pay for the test. If you take a test outside of the 14 days, then you will have to pay for it. But once it's every 14 days, you go to any testing facility, the government ones, and the test is free. All right, but if you're going to take a test outside of the 14 days, then you have to pay for it. Alrighty. Questions. All right, so yes, okay, so another tip for moving into the UAE, yes, is to be, I think I need a little light in my background. Is getting dark. Let me just get a little light. Yes. Right. Yes, okay. So when you arrive in the UAE, you do an X-ray, and you do blood work. They test for what's that thing called again? Tuberculosis, and I'm trying to remember what starts with T, something that they test for, that once you have that, you're back on another flight. But I know they do an X-ray, and what's that thing again that they, I can't remember right now. As soon as I remember, I'll drop it in the chat box what they test for. Yes, but they take you or send you exactly where you need to go, and the school also pays for that test. Yeah, so you go and you get tested, and the result goes back to them. And then after passing that medical, then you are given your Emirates, your residency card, and all of that. Yeah, when I remember, I'll drop it into the chat box. Yeah, but most persons pass their medical. Yes, and if you're a female, you just can't be pregnant and not married. So well, they don't give a pregnancy test, but I don't know how they find out. Or because in the UAE, as a female, you can't turn up at the hospital pregnant and not being married. All right. Yeah, so another tip if you are moving to the UAE is to um, embrace the multicultural atmosphere. So far, it's been good. Not everybody is friendly. You will not be friendly with everybody. Even persons from your own nationality, you won't make friends with. Yes, people will be people. Even we have I'm a Jamaican, and we have Jamaicans there, and not everybody gets along with each other. People will just be people, but embrace the multicultural atmosphere that is there. As expats, we make up the largest population in the UAE. We are more than the natives. Yes, and everybody has their social groups. So when you arrive, just try to be a part of one of those groups. And but I always say, if you can find at least one or two people that you can get along with, then you are going to be fine. But just find one or two, and of course you will be become friends with people of different nationality and so on. So you will survive. Yes. All right, and next thing you have to do is to assess the cost of living. Yes, prices are going up just about everywhere, guys. So make sure that the salary can actually cater to your needs. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. All right, yes. So cost of living, like I said before, you don't have to think about rent, and you're just going to be paying your Wi-Fi. Just a few schools ask you to pay for utility. You already have your airfare. You're joining airfare and your airfare every year, every summer. Yeah, so just it's doable. and you can actually save. You can actually save from your salary. Yes, you can save. It just depends on your lifestyle, because sadly a lot of teachers come to the UAE and their salary tripled. Yes, tripled what they were working in their home country. But they arrive in the UAE, and when you see the glitz, the glamour, everything is dazzling. Yes, sadly they a lot of teachers get caught up. There is so much to do in the UAE. There is so many places to go to, so many things to do, and persons just get caught up in it, and before they know it, they're not saving anything. Yes, and that really happens, guys. So you have to be mindful of how much you are spending, and making sure that you're able to save, because I mean, the ultimate reason for coming there is to work and to save some money. So yeah, um and I started telling persons who are thinking of coming to, you see that thing called credit card in the UAE. Mm-hmm. Banks will be up your neck for those credit card. They will offer you everything that you can think of, but those credit card bills, hmm, they aren't real. And I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the UAE, if your credit card is due tomorrow, it is due. And the moment you miss it, the bank is going to call you, and you can't hide from them. They're going to find you to come and get their money. All right, so assess, think about the salary that you're going to be getting, your lifestyle, and make sure that you're actually saving from it. All right. All right, cars. I hope I'm not missing any questions. Yes, it is very easy to rent a car, or you can lease, or you can buy. It just depends on what you want, but it's very easy, and it depends on which nationality. You might be able to use the same license from your home country, but like for a Jamaican, we have to do back the road test, everything, the theory and the road test and everything. Whilst I think from the US and America, you can use the same, I mean, US and South Africa, you can use the same license from your home country. All right, but it's very easy to rent, or to lease month to month, or to buy a car. Super easy. That's one of probably one of the easiest things to do, trust me. And that's what most persons do, until they get settled. Yes, and then if they're going to be there for a long term, then they consider buying a car. All right. All right, so another tip is, yeah, talked about the cost of living. Oh, and the labor law. Make sure you read up on the labor law. Also know what your contract says. There are most schools, if you are going to resign before your contract ends, then you have to give the school 60 days notice. Yes, you have to give the school 60 days notice. If you don't give them the 60 days notice, then you have to pay back 2 months salary. There are some schools that you can resign without penalty if you are still within your probation period. And then there are some schools that even if during your probation period, if you decide to resign, then they might ask you back for a portion of the airfare and so on. So schools have their different rules, so make sure you know the labor law, because yeah, sometimes you might end up have to call the labor board to get feedback on an issue that you might have with your school. I always say read up, read up, read up a lot. I remember when I finished my first contract at my first school. Um, I didn't want to stay there. The school wanted me to stay, of course, but I mean, I keep telling persons, I didn't go to the UAE to spread bed anywhere. The moment I realize I can get a better salary, I don't like to break contracts, so I don't break contracts. But the moment I realize I can get a better salary, I am going to go. I'm going to go elsewhere. So I finished one contract, and I didn't want to renew it, and that's the one of the advantages in working with in the UAE. When your contract finishes, you don't have to go back home to your home country. As long as your school is comfortable with you, you can stay at that school forever. As long as the school is comfortable with you, you can stay there forever. However, so I didn't want to stay at that school because of the salary. I wanted more, and they weren't willing to pay more. So when I decided that I wasn't going to renew the contract, um, yes, I think I told them like maybe 2 weeks before leaving. um, but their fault. They should have asked me if I wanted to stay. They didn't. Anyways, but they tried to tell me that, okay, you're gonna have to pay us back 60 days salary. And I'm like, no. The labor law, I was able to quote to them what the labor law states. So make sure you read upon that, and before you take any action, before you do anything, make sure you read the labor laws and know what you are doing. All right. So thank you again for the 7 people who are online. And remember to give the video a thumbs up. Do you know anything about substituting pay wise? Yes, the schools do have substitute teachers, and they have teaching assistants also. So you can apply for teaching assistant jobs if you have, I think, a diploma will work in that case. You want to be a substitute teacher, you probably just need to have a diploma or some certificate in teaching. And yes, schools have full-time substitute teachers, and some schools have substitute teachers who they call in on particular days. For example, one school that I worked, the substitute teacher wasn't there every day, but they would call the teacher, like if a teacher sent in information the night before that, okay, I'm not going to be at work tomorrow, then they would call in the substitute teacher. While some schools, the substitute teacher is there every day. However, they don't get the salary package that the regular teacher would get. And I think if you didn't get the substitute teacher job through an agency, then you would have to provide your own visa, or if you're already on spouse visa, then so you wouldn't get like the accommodation benefits, and you wouldn't get the benefits and so on. I don't know, like for most times I see the substitute teachers there from like the Philippines, Nepal, and but I know I more know the substitute teachers, mostly those who are from the Philippines, and their pay is like 3,800 dirhams. You'd have to calculate that in your currency and see, but most times their salary goes up to like 3,800 dirhams as a substitute teacher. And like I said, if they employed you through a recruiting company or some other company, some of them provide accommodation, but it means that it's like a studio with 3 teachers in the one room or something like that. But since if you're on a husband or other spouse visa, then I mean you wouldn't be living with the other teachers. All right. Hope I didn't miss anybody's questions. All right. All right, yeah, so I think I touched on all the tips that I wanted to talk about if you're moving to the UAE. Yes, just have your documents ready. um have a clear mindset that it's not a bed of rose. I often say it's easier for teachers who join the school year in August, the start of the year, so you get to go through all the orientation. As against teachers who start in the middle of the school year, sometimes they find it very challenging because sometimes they really need this teacher, and so the teacher joins in the middle of the school year and then there's no time to give you an orientation. So you arrive in the country today and tomorrow you show up at school and you are given your timetable and you're just thrust into the class like that, and you just have to learn while you're um, going on. So it normally it's better for those who join in August, yes, because I think like new teachers normally start, let's say August 15, 16, whichever is the Monday. And as some of you might know, since January 2022, the work week changed. It was Sunday to Thursday first, but since January 2022, the work week has changed to Monday to Friday, with Friday being half day. So all schools end at 12 o'clock on a Friday. Yeah. Yeah, so new teachers mostly join like by the 16th of August. Yes, so just have everything ready and have a clear mindset that it's a new culture that you're going to be going into. Some things that you could do at your previous job, it's not acceptable in the UAE, for example, as much as shouting at a child and and saying go and sit, at some simple things that you have to change, and find a different way of classroom behavior management. What I'd say, I tend to see the high school teachers struggle more with behavioral issues, but whereas in the primary schools you probably have a one or two little ones who give you a headache. Yes, but generally speaking, behavior is not an issue. Like I said, behavioral problem is mostly in the high school, and it's not wide scale. You just probably have a one or two who really give you some headache. All right. As an NQT, do you need an experience letter? All right. So as a newly qualified teacher, no, you wouldn't need an experience letter, because that means, as the name suggests, NQT, you have no experience. There are some jobs that when you see them being advertised, you will see the NQT there, and some of them will specifically say you must have 2 years experience before. But yeah, if you're a newly qualified teacher, it's going to be evident to them based on, they will see when you finish your degree, and wherever you would write on your CV, they would see that you have no experience. So in that case, you wouldn't need the work experience letter. And yes, they do employ NQTs. All right, so in terms of attesting your documents now, um, the document to attest your documents, some of the places they tend to close, business hours close sometimes right at the time you would be leaving school. So yes, but you arrive and they know you need to attest your documents. Once you ask for time off and that this is what you're going to do, they will give you the time off to go and attest your documents. And unlike Jamaica, where you go and you have to attest the documents and you have to leave it and go back for it, no. Here, the same day you take it there, you just pay and wait on it and you get it back at the same time. All right. Yeah. All right, question. Yes, your years of experience with your diploma, it does count. Yes, it does count. Your years of experience, it counts, because I did a teaching diploma first, and that was 2003. Just 1 second, guys. This is why I was trying to connect from my laptop and not my phone. Let me just make my mom make this call. So it'll give me, sorry I have to be interrupting my live, but let me just make my mom make this one call. Sorry guys, I have a visitor. I think I will have to end this live and come back on another one hopefully tomorrow. But let me see if I missed any of your question. All right. Yes, so Rondine, I was saying that I had a diploma first, so yes, it does count for your years of experience. It's only that to be employed, you need a bachelor's degree to be employed. But with your diploma, it does count towards your years of experience. Right. So it's not just the it's not just the degree experience that they acknowledge. They do acknowledge the years you had the diploma. All right. So you're only qualified as a newly qualified teacher if you have not taught before. That's what they consider a newly qualified teacher, someone who has not taught before. Yes. Only if you have not taught before, you're considered as a newly qualified teacher. Yes, remove that. Yes, remove that. Yes, remove that. Put all your years of experience teaching. And funny enough, I remember because there's this ministry thing that you have to complete first before they fully approve you. And I remember they asked me about the years that why my degree program was so short, and I had to explain to them that I had a diploma long before doing the degree. And I think I just showed it to them and they accepted it. But because they were looking at the years of experience that I had, and then they realized, oh, but the degree was just in 2009, so how did you get that many years? So they do count it. So the NQT just means that you NQT means newly qualified teacher, meaning you have not taught before. All right, so thank you to the 9 persons who are online. Remember to give the video a thumbs up. Yeah. I'll try to since I'm on spring break now, I'll try to come on and do some more lives so I can get to answer some questions. Yes, and it would be good, yes, Rondine, if you could get experience letter from any other job that you worked before. Yes, that will be yes, that will actually also show that you have years of experience. Because let's say you are at a particular school now and you're just working there for 2 years, that letter is going to just say you have been teaching at this school for just 2 years, and they wouldn't consider the other years gone. So if it would be good if you taught at different schools and you can get experience letter from those schools. And yeah, and I think a few persons have asked about the experience letter and the reference. The reference and the experience letter, two different things. The experience letter is on the school's letterhead, and it states that Georgia Dockery has been a member of this part of this institution for X amounts of years, and working or teaching in this capacity. So it's a very short letter just acknowledging that you have been teaching at the school for this number of years. But it's different from the reference letter. All right. Yes, and that one is definitely a must, the experience letter. Because even in the UAE, after leaving one school, by law in the UAE, once you finish a contract at a school, they have to give you your experience letter. Because if you leave a school in the UAE and you were not given an experience letter and you try to go to another school, they're going to count it. They're going to say you have no UAE experience. So experience letter is very important when getting a job. All right, guys. But if there are no more questions, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to end this live prematurely, as unfortunately I have to make a quick run on the road. But you know, I am reachable, so you can definitely message me on Facebook, Georgia Dockery. Well, I'll drop it in the description box, or you can just comment right under this video, and I'll be sure to reply. All right. um yeah, so just drop me any further questions. Hi, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian. I'll definitely come back on tomorrow. I definitely have more time tomorrow, so I will set up another live for tomorrow and make the time more flexible. Yes, since it's the weekend too, so others can join. But feel free, send me email or message on Facebook, or you can leave your message in the comment section, your question. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this short live. Remember to give the video a thumbs up, and you know what I want you to do for me too, guys, to make sure you're watching the ads. Yes, don't skip the ads. All right. Yes, well, thank you so much for joining again, and it's always a pleasure talking to you wherever you are from. I hope that in your quest in trying to get a job in the UAE, I wish you all the best, and I support you from whichever country you are from, and I am most open to help you and to answer the questions that you might have as much as possible. Like I say to everyone, when I was going to the UAE, I didn't know anyone, and so it was other person's YouTube video, and I wasn't even getting so much information like I try to give out at this time. So yes, once you reach out to me and I know that you have interest in coming to the UAE, I'm going to try and help you as much as I can. All right, guys, so catch you tomorrow on another live. I hope you found this one informative. Alright, guys, so take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in another video soon. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so. Alright, guys, bye for now.